Hello, dear sports family. Welcome back. Thank you for hanging in there. I know it's been a while since you've seen my face, but being a student athlete and working with mostly athletes and coaches' schedules sometimes just does not work out. So we are back in the grind and we are filming today, and I could not be more excited to have one of my teammates and roommates to sit down with me, Allie Sczech. Allie Sczech is a freshman on the Baylor volleyball team. She's the number 32 recruit in the nation, named to the 2021 ABCA All-American First Team. Allie was also invited to the USA Volleyball inaugural National Team Development Program Summer Training Series. Allie Sczech was recently named Big 12 Rookie of the Week 2 weeks ago. Allie Sczech, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me, Faith.
Of course. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so glad I'm here too.
I was like in the kitchen the other day and I was like, hey, Allie, want to come on the podcast?
Of course.
Anything. Awesome. Okay, so let's get into it. So you're a freshman. How is that going?
It's been good. It's been kind of hard to find the balance just with like volleyball and school and just kind of like trying to figure out my life here, but it's been good. It's been super fun.
Okay, good. And you graduated a semester early, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yes. I did the same thing and I liked it. How was that for you?
I liked it. I think it was good just to kind of get here early and get with the team early, just kind of learn the dynamic, and I think it's like definitely helped our cohesiveness now, just like because I wasn't the only one in my class that came in early, 3 other girls did, so just like all 4 of us coming in and like being able to like kind of already bond with the team was great.
Yes, and you came in with, it was 4 of y'all, right? You, DaCosta, Sophia Keene, and then Avery Carlson, right? So y'all 4 came in.
Yeah.
Okay, fun. And so y'all's recruiting class was like legitimately stacked. Like y'all were the number 4 recruiting class in the nation, right? Like that's huge.
Yeah, it was a super big deal. It was super fun just to kind of be a part of that, and just like, I don't know, it was really cool just to be around such good recruits coming into. Just like some of my very best friends are just like also ballers. So yeah.
Ballers. Yes, because y'all all played club together, right?
So I played club with Alexis. I guess it was my 13s through my 17s year, because I played 17s.
Okay.
After I played 18s, and I played up on 18s with Sophia.
Okay. Yes.
But Avery and me never played together, but we always played at the same club, just in different areas. Like she played in Dallas and I played in Houston.
Yes, right. Okay, yeah. And so going through the recruiting process, so let's kind of first talk about that, because I know for volleyball that was like, it was crazy. I mean, I committed my freshman year, or the end of my freshman year, which was really scary. And you did the same thing, but you were in 8th grade, right?
Yes.
That's literally crazy. So how was that?
It was good. I mean, it's kind of one of those things, like everybody says, like when you know, and I knew. I was like, this is it. This is where I want to be. But I just remember like when I was about to commit, I was like, okay, this is where I want to go. My parents were like, are you sure? Like just trying to like reassure me, like, are you sure you want to be here? Are you sure this is what you want to do? And I was like, no, like I'm sure. And they were like, okay, let's do it. And I just like, Baylor was the place for me. Like I knew, like after my visit, Coach Mack asked me to pray with him, and I was just like, yeah, these are my people. Like, this is where I need to be. These are the people I need to be around. This is the environment I need to be in. So, yeah.
That's good. And I think, like, you were recruited at, like, such a high level, and so I'm sure you had, like, so many other options, too, right?
I had a few other options, yes, that I, like, really looked into and really considered, but I think just Baylor was just, like, the one.
The go-to. Yeah, and so I think, like, so young, too, it's hard to know, like, where you want to go, let alone, like, you're not even in high school yet. And so, like, there's so much pressure that comes with that, and, like, making varsity as a freshman, you know, like, you're still, like, you're a kid, and, like, you're, like, wanting to have fun and, like, make those decisions. And it's so hard to find a school that fits you that young, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I think that was kind of, I mean, it just kind of went back to that gut feeling. Like, when you have that gut feeling, you just kind of got to go with it. And I think, like, having that gut feeling so young kind of showed me, like, oh, my gosh, if I have this gut feeling right now, like, that just means through the years of me being committed, like, I'm just going to be more excited for where I need to go, like, and where I'm going to be. So I just think, like, trusting that gut feeling, I mean, it obviously worked out for the better. So very blessed and thankful, but yeah.
Good. No, that's great. And I think, like, Coach Mack praying with you, like, that's huge, you know? And I think it's those small, tiny things that you don't realize going through that process, but you are, like, overanalyzing everything that's happening. So when things like that happen and it's like a part of your culture and like a part of like who you are, and it's really cool and it's special to know that. I mean, he cares about us way more than volleyball players at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's great. So
sure.
how did you get into volleyball? Did you do another sport? I mean, you're a big girl. You're 6'4", so.
I'm not gonna lie. So my dad made me play volleyball.
Okay.
I was like, I do not want to go. I do not want to do this. Like, I was like girly girl growing up. Like, Barbies like were my thing. Like, I would just sit and play Barbies all the time. Like, my friends would come over, like makeup, tea party, like the whole shebang. But yeah. So my dad was like, hey, we're gonna get you in sports. We're gonna see what we like. And I was like, Dad, really? Like, let's not do that. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I just want to hang out with my friends. And he was like, no, we're gonna do it. And I was like, okay, Dad. And so like being a people pleaser growing up, I was like, okay, here we go. So he's like, okay, we're going to try soccer. We're going to try volleyball. And whichever one you stick with, we're going to stick with. And I was like, why? Okay. So we try soccer. Didn't work out.
No? Are you not coordinated?
No.
Like,
I'm just not a soccer player. Like,
okay.
I'm not trying to run that much. That is ridiculous. Like, go them. Props to you, but no. So we tried volleyball, and I still didn't like that either. I was like, literally horrible. Like, I was probably, I guess like when I was like 11 was my first like club team. Okay. Which it was 11, so we played like 2 other teams because there's no 11s teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad was like, all right, let's do this. And I was like, I'm literally the worst player on the team. Like, I do not want to be here. I literally would go into practices like, Dad, why are you dropping me off? Like, he'd be like, get out of the car. Go.
Go make
and
friends.
I was like, all right, here we go. So I don't think it was really till, I guess my 12th year, my dad was like, we're doing it again. And I was like, till I really was like, this is what I want to do. Yeah. I kind of want to get more serious in this. And then I kind of like took it to another level, like kind of going to Skyline, getting in that. And just, yeah, it was kind of cool just being able to take the step further and realize like, oh, this is not really what my dad wanted me to do at first. It's what I want to do now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, that's good. I feel like sometimes we just kind of need a
little push.
A little push just to like get into it. I think when we're so young too, it's like, you don't know what you want to do. Like I did dance and gymnastics and I think I played soccer at this one summer camp. Okay. I'm running. I have gum in my mouth. The gum falls out of my mouth. Okay. I make a circle. I run back through the same spot and step in my gum on the soccer field. Like how embarrassing. So like soccer is obviously not for me either, but you just kind of have to try everything when you're young and like see what works and fits. Did you start in the right side position? Because you're left-handed, which is like amazing as a right side. So.
No, I did not. I actually started playing middle, which
because you're the biggest
just because
one
I'm
out
tall.
there.
Yeah, just because I was really tall. When I was younger, like I always was like just way taller than everybody else. Mm-hmm. And then it wasn't until like I guess when I was like 14 till like more people started growing. So then it was like, oh, okay, I'm starting to even out with my friends on my volleyball team.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still the tallest, but like not like they're close.
Yeah,
and then now it's like I'm like I feel short on our team. There's like 5 girls taller than me. I'm like, what? Like, I'm short.
Tell me about it. Welcome to the, what am I, 5'6" life? But no, yeah, that's awesome. Okay, and you stuck with right side. Obviously, it worked out.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So you played volleyball, played at Skyline, and then commit to Baylor. How did you feel after that? Like, what was, because you committed so young. So how was like your high school process coming to Baylor camps? How did that go for you?
Honestly, it was really fun just being able to come to Baylor camps because I was like, these are some of my best friends I'm going to be with for the next 4 years. Mm-hmm. So like being able just to have those 4 years to build those relationships already was like honestly such a blessing in disguise that I never really realized. Like I met Lauren Warsenio when I was younger. Like I met Riley when I was younger. Just being able to meet those people so young and be able to form those relationships so young was such a blessing and super cool. But I also think like throughout high school and throughout I guess like the end of middle school, I guess. But throughout all of that, it was just really cool to be able to be like, okay, let's get better now. Like I'm not done yet. And I think that's kind of one of the biggest roadblocks when it comes to committing. I feel like people commit and they're like, okay, we're committed, like deep breath. Like that was like, no. Yeah. Like we're committed now, like now we get something to work towards.
That's the starting point.
So that was kind of my starting point, I felt like, and still a big blessing that, I mean, that was able to even get there. But being able to just commit and then being able to be like, okay, now I got to work. Like now I got to go harder than I've ever gone to be able to get to where I want to be. So I think that was kind of like my building block, I guess, my first stone.
Yeah, no, that's really good. I think I kind of felt the same way with our class. It was like we're growing up together. We went on our unofficials together, our official visits together, and even when I was here and y'all came on your official visit, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, they're coming. Like, they're finally going to be here soon. You know, like, we just love y'all so much and going up to camps together. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know her, Allie Sczech. She's from Houston. Like, we're from the same place. But yeah, I think it's really special that whenever we were able to start playing together, we already knew each other. That was already kind of out of the way. And we were just able to like go and ball out and not have to build the off the court relationships, which I think can be like a big factor to how your team communicates
For
on
sure.
the court.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a big blessing. So you are a freshman. You did graduate early, so you had that semester. But like you're playing, like you are rolling. Is that what you expected? How was that process? I know we trained in the summer, and so you can kind of feel out how season's gonna go. But how has that been for you?
Honestly, I think like coming into it, like I was like, I'm just blessed to even be like playing college volleyball. Like, I mean, like being so young and dreaming of that, like every day, just like being able to get to that point.
Yeah.
Like, I think just like at this point, I'm like, it's just such a blessing to be able to step on the court at any point, even in practices, just to be on a Baylor volleyball team. And I think like sometimes as college athletes, you get so in the routine of things, you get going and you kind of forget like your why.
Yeah.
And I think like my why was I want to be at Baylor because this is where I want to be and these are the people I want to be around. So just every day being able to come into the gym and work with people, regardless of like what my role may be, is just a blessing. So I think like being able to play has been super cool and been a blessing. Just to be able to like be on the court with people that I've dreamed of playing with. I mean, play against people that I've dreamed playing against. Like I know like I've looked at teams and I'm like, I literally used to watch this girl on TV. Like I literally know who she is. She has no idea who I am, but I know who she is. And I literally want to be like her. So let's do it. But I think that's kind of cool. But yeah, that's probably my take on it.
That's awesome. I mean, and like you're killing it. Like you really would never know. But I think it is important, like you talked about it, like finding your role. And so coming in as a freshman, like I think most of the times it's like, oh, like how am I going to contribute like to the culture and everything? And so since we have such a young team, being able to like live with these girls and like create the culture that you want, but then also to play and to like be a huge factor in that is so cool. And like that is your role and like you're embracing it so well. And like obviously I'm gonna hype you up because like you're my teammate and I love you, but like you're doing such a great job of it, and it's been like such a seamless transition. You would never know that you're our little 6'4" lefty. Like you're killing it. So it's been really cool to watch you. But so we both do live together, which is so fun.
Super fun.
We live at 7-Eleven. Do you want to tell kind of like the story about our house and like how it's all volleyball?
Sure, I guess. I'll go for it. But yeah, so I lived at UP and I was like, all right, I get to move out now. Let's go move out, live with some cool people. I mean, I lived with cool people, but I want to live with some more cool people. So yeah, I moved into 7-Eleven and it's been like a volleyball house for what, how many years now?
Gosh, I want to say like it's got to be at least 8.
Yeah,
right?
I know, it's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
What? But yes, I moved in. It was you, Ava Grace, Elise McGee, Kara McGee, Cassie Davis, and we had another girl move in named Callie Cogdill. And just like being able to move with y'all has been so fun. Like I literally love y'all. Like what? like it's just like I'm like, dang, these are my people.
These are my people. That's so funny. No, it's really cool because like Nicole Bannon, who is our director of ops, lived in that house.
I know.
Which is like so fun. And then Hannah Sedgwick lived in that house. Bree Coleman, AJ Cooley, Emily Bansley. I don't know. I think it's just been so fun that like to pass through the house and we get to choose to live together, which I think is special. That not a lot of teams have that opportunity where it's like they want to choose to live with teammates just because we do see each other so much, but it's always a party at 7-Eleven.
No, it's literally so cool because like I literally was moving in and I was like, Emily, girl, you got to get this chair out of here. Like I was like, why does Emily still have her chair here? And it's just like funny because it's like I know her and she lived there before me. And most people, like when you move into a house, you're not like, you don't go to the people that lived there before and you're like, dude, why did you do this to the room? I'm like, I literally know her and I'm like, bro, why is your chair still here? Like, take it. I need it to move.
It's so funny. Everyone has taken a house picture. And so the picture stays in the house. So we have all these pictures of all these random people.
We don't even know.
I know. But they're on the volleyball team. So I'm like, whatever. I mean, I guess it's cool. But I don't know. I just think that's kind of fun. So being a freshman, what are you majoring in?
Journalism.
Journalism. Okay. Love it. I'm also corporate comm, minoring in PR. We're trying to get you to switch, but
yeah,
it's okay.
Working on it.
Have you enjoyed that? Is that something that you want to see yourself doing in the future? What's the goal with that?
Yeah, so journalism I feel like is kind of broad for what I wanted to do. I've had multiple different like interests in that kind of I guess category. I would say like pipe dream if I did go the journalism route because I do have a corporate comm minor. So I'm kind of leaning, like I said, like you said, I'm kind of leaning towards switching them, not positive yet. But ideally if I goes the journalism major, I'd love to be a professional writer. My parents know the people that wrote the show Yellowstone.
So cool.
Which is like
literally so
my
cool.
literal biggest flex. So I'm like,
Your claim to fame.
can we like be buddies, bro? Can you teach me how to do that? Like mentor me? And I think professional writing would be really cool because I feel like I'm a pretty creative person. So I feel like that'd be cool. And then if I do switch to corporate comm as my major, which it is my minor, I would love to do like sports broadcasting. So like literally what you're doing to me right now. But yeah.
I know. I think it's so fun that like we have another friend, Alex, and so she wants to do the same thing. And so I think it's so much fun when we like all get together and are like running our mouths about broadcasting, like journalism, and what we're learning. And I think it's been really cool for us to like. I know you're taking journalism 2303, and I'm taking
that.
like the upper level course, and I'm like, you're me, like what? Just in a 6-4 form. But it's been really fun just to like.
No, it's been so fun. Just because it's like people that like want to do the same thing I want to do, just like being around y'all, I'm like, wow, y'all are pretty cool. Like, I'm kind of glad I'm going this route. There's some cool people that are like kind of in the flow. They're doing the same thing.
It's been fun. Is playing sports, has that made you want to go that route? Or like what has made like your wheels turn to do that? Obviously, you know the guy that wrote Yellowstone, but like to go into writing.
So yeah, so I think going into sports, like I've just seen so many like great journalists. I've talked to a lot of great journalists, which is kind of crazy because people are like, you've talked to journalists? Because you don't really know when the journalist is on a team. Sometimes you're like, where's the journalist? Yeah. But they're so like vital to like the team's success and like kind of their media and what they put out there. So yeah, I think it'd be really cool to also potentially like sign with like a team like the Rockets, for example, go kind of travel with the Rockets, like be their journalists, like things like that would be really cool. But yeah, I mean, I think sports definitely helped me get into that. Just like being around it so much, like getting to see different sports, getting to see people do that job has been really cool. But also, like I said, like being around people like you that are kind of in the same, that have the same dreams, like within sports. I feel like it's been cool to kind of look at it from, okay, the journalist perspective or maybe the broadcasting. Just seeing both has been really cool. So, yeah,
for sure. I mean, we truly get like a front row seat to all of that because like being in college athletics, you just see all those people all the time. So like you said, it's been really cool. Do you want to go pro? Is that like a goal for you? Anything like extend the volleyball career?
I mean, honestly, I think that's going to be an in 4 years kind of decision.
For sure.
But like, honestly, I would love to. I think it'd be cool. Yeah. But it just kind of depends on what my body will allow me to do at that point. I feel like after 4 years of college volleyball, it's like you don't really know where you're going to end up at the end. So I think it kind of depends on like my health. And I think at the end of the day, like my mental health too. Like I'm a really big family person. Like I love my family. Like I would love to be around my family. And I think depending on pro, when you think of pro volleyball, it kind of gives you the idea you're probably going to go overseas. You're probably going to be in a country you don't normally would live in, or you don't know anybody there. You might not speak the language. So all of those things kind of playing a factor into it. I'm not 100% sure I'd want to do just because I don't want to be away from my family. But yeah, I mean, it kind of just depends on where my head's at and where I'm at in life. But yeah, I mean, it'd be great to ponder the idea. I'm not gonna lie.
Be pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, and like you won't get that COVID year obviously because of like everything that's gone on. But a lot of people I feel like that got that COVID year, didn't take it and went pro. You know, just to kind of like test out the waters and like see how that goes. But I don't know. Personally, I do hope that it becomes more like over in the U.S. Just because it is tough to go overseas and to like truly leave. Like your family, friends, have to learn like a new language to even communicate is like really tough. But I think our sport is growing, so hopefully maybe by the time you have to make that decision, it'll be more over in the U.S. or like maybe it's just like in Mexico, so it's like a little closer. I don't know, but it's
that. Yeah, I've thought about that too because I know they have a pro league now in the U.S., but it's Dallas, just kind of evolving. So I feel like if that gets bigger, I would love to do that. But yeah,
for sure. So. We both went to an FCA camp last summer, which was so fun, in Brownwood, Texas, right? Is it Brownwood?
Brownwood.
Yes. And so it was the FCA Captain's Camp. We were able to minister like some young high school girls. We each had, how many were in our huddles?
I think it was like 8 girls.
8 girls? Okay, yeah. Let's first talk about camp. What was that like for you?
Well, it was really cool just because coming into college, like, I got the opportunity to go to FCA camp and personally was able to see like older girls disciple me and take me in and kind of teach me more about the Lord. So being able to do that for younger girls was so like just an experience I never thought I'd actually ever get, and being able to get it was just so amazing. Like being able to pour into little girls that are that were in the same boat I was in was just really cool. And I mean, honestly, like that experience definitely changed my life for sure.
Yeah, it was so cool. I mean, we were literally like out in the middle of nowhere, like with these girls like on this ranch, which was so fun. Like, we were, like waking up in the morning, there's like a goat at our front door. And
No,
I'm like,
literally. I was
okay,
like, what
what
are we
is
doing?
happening?
But because I remember the first day we got there, I was like, we're in the middle of nowhere.
Cell
Like,
service
what
is
are
not
we
working.
doing? Cell service, there's crickets. I'm like, I do not do bugs. Like, what are we doing
We have
here?
crickets in Waco, but y'all, these crickets were like
Crazy.
huge.
Them things were like jumping too. I was like, what are we doing here? But I don't know. It was so cool just to be able to, I mean, honestly, not a big nature person, like I said, but being able to be around the nature was actually kind of cool.
It was really
like
peaceful.
with all the goats, like in the morning, I was like, yeah, you're kind of creepy that you're right next to the door. But like, it's kind of cool because you don't see a goat by your door all the time. You're like, what?
There are no goats at 7-Eleven in the morning.
No
Absolutely
goats.
not.
Dude, if there was a goat, I might be moving out.
I'm so dead. But yeah, I think it was really cool just to like see these young girls come to Christ so quickly. And I mean, I know for me it was like super humbling to wash their feet. You know, like that was just like wow. Like I'm sitting there washing their feet, praying over them, and then we had I guess I hate saying like adults because we are adults, but like the like Catherine and like some like the chaperones I guess that were there as well to pray over us and to wash our feet was just so cool. And you know, here I am as like a huddle leader, like bawling my eyes out, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But I'm like, these girls, like that's so cool. Like I should not be crying. Like they should be crying, you know. But yeah, so humbling, so cool. So coming to Baylor, you talked about it. Coach Mack prayed over you. Can you talk about your faith a little bit, like your testimony of how you came to Christ?
Yeah, so growing up, I actually grew up Catholic.
Okay.
So the Catholic Church, it's really traditional. So I feel like I kind of always knew God. Like we always went to church on Sundays, but it was kind of like, hey, if you're the most quiet at church, like you get to pick the restaurant we eat at afterwards. So I was like, say less, Mom. I was like freaking listening to every word they were saying. I was like, yup. Like, we're going to Cafe Express. Like, I got this in the bag. And then I don't think it was really until I got to college, so I was like, oh my gosh, like I can literally have an individual relationship with God. Like, he can literally be my best friend, which sounds crazy because I was like, what? Like, God is just someone we worship. Like, we go to church on Sundays. And it was kind of more of like a routine thing in my life and not like a thing that I implemented every day, which is kind of sad to say. But being able to like come to that faith now has been just so eye-opening and so moving. So yeah, so coming to Baylor, I took a chapel class my first semester, and that's honestly what sparked the change in me. Cause like I had went through some tough things my junior year of high school, and I kind of started to realize like, okay, I've seen people like have individual relationships with God, read the word more. So I was like, what? And then coming to the chapel class, I like sat down, got the opportunity to read the word with other student athletes and some of my very close friends now, which is really cool. But yes, I think Katherine Johnson definitely had a really big impact on my faith. And it's just like, I mean, that woman has done wonders for me.
Yes.
And I don't really think it was till the FCA camp I was invited to till the big change was made.
Yes, yeah.
The college advanced camp, like I said, had just come to college. I was like learning more about God. And I was like, you know what? I'm really interested in this. Like, I want to see if I can like develop my relationship with God. Like, he's going to be my primary priority. So I was like, you know what, let's do it. So Catherine texted me. She's like, hey, there's FCA camp. Let's see if you can get in. You want to come? And I was like, yeah, let's see if some of my friends can go. Well, none of my friends could go. So I was like, well, all right. Well, we're doing this on my own. And I don't really,
brave.
I was like, let's just go for it. Let's see what we can do. My mom was like, yeah, I think that's a great idea. So I went, and it was like literally the best weekend of my life. Like, I wish I could like put it into words because you hear that from everyone. Everyone's like, oh, we go to Christian camp, like best weekend ever. But like literally it has changed the way I think about everything in my mentality, just like as a person. And so, that's definitely my faith grew. I learned to have that individual relationship with God. I mean, I know AJ played on the volleyball team prior, like was my huddle leader, and another girl named Alexis who played volleyball at, I think, U of H. Okay. And they just both like I admire them. Like every day, just because of what they taught me at that camp. It's just been such a blessing. And I think that camp was my foundation. I think day in and day out, I've just made it a priority to meet with Catherine every week, like read the word on my own and just develop that one-on-one relationship with God. And I mean, honestly, like it's been cool because I've been able to implement it in every aspect of my life. Like not only now since I have this relationship, I'm able to like pour into other people that I don't necessarily know, or pour into other people that don't know as much about God, or kind of like live out my faith on the court too. I think it's been really cool. But yeah, sure.
Yes, that's so good. I think the cool thing about college advanced too is it's colleges from like all over. So like you're hanging next to people at like Texas Tech, Houston, like TCU, and like that's really cool to see other like big college athletes wanting to like walk in the same way that you are. And so I think that can be like really encouraging. I haven't been because I haven't been able to go, but like I'm always so jealous and so envious. Like when y'all come back and I'm like, no, I need to go.
It was awesome. Just because I also met so many amazing people, like so many other college athletes that were just great people. Like we met people from Texas State, we met people from Texas Tech, like TCU. Like I saw some of my friends on the TCU volleyball team. Like
so fun.
I saw some friends on the Tech volleyball team. Like it was just so cool. Like it was such a blessing, like honestly.
Yes. And so you talked about how like that's kind of changed your playing style a little bit. Yeah, go more into that.
Yeah, so I think I always kind of had heard like play for something bigger than you, play for something bigger than you. And like I said, like I never knew what that meant growing up.
Yeah.
But then getting here, I've been able to see like I know what that means now. And yeah, like I think I'd always had that pull from God. I feel like God was always like, hey, like, come on, girl. Like, come on. Like, I was supposed to be number one. And that's that gut feeling. Like, when I came on, like I said, when I came on that recruiting visit, like, that was that gut feeling. And it's just crazy how far that gut feeling has taken me to the point where now I'm like, oh my gosh, I know what that means. Like, that means playing for something bigger than myself. And I think, like, just knowing that every day that I get out there on the court, like, I'm playing for God and what God's invested in me. Like, this is a platform I've been given, and, like, just the opportunity to play college volleyball, like I'm going to worship him throughout it. So everything that I do is going to be through God. Like the way I think Nicole said this actually, but she talked a little about Brea. She was a previous volleyball player, and how when other teammates were struggling or when she was struggling, she was always like the most encouraging. Yeah. And I think that, and she was like, that shows her faith and like who she is as a person. So I think that's been another way that I've really tried to like implement God, is the way that I encourage people, because I feel like at the end of the day, like another thing that kind of just off the course, but people don't remember like your stats or like how well you hit or how many digs you had. People remember the way you made them feel. So I feel like at the end of the day, like knowing that I'm going to live out God. And then I'd probably say lastly, just knowing like, regardless of how I play, God's going to love me either way. Like, and my identity is in him and not in volleyball. So, yeah.
No, that's good. It just relieves, like, so much pressure. Like, we even say it a lot of times, like, ourselves as teammates, it's like, we still love you. Like, we're still going to care about you. And, like, if you go back there and you miss your serve, like, yeah, we're going to be upset for, like, a little bit. But, like, it's okay. Like, you're worth more than that. And so your identity is not in that. I know, like, Jack and I were talking about it a second ago, but, like, you just have so much joy on the court. He was like, I love taking pictures of this girl because, like, her face is always doing these crazy things, and it comes out to be, like, good pictures, which, gosh, we got to find it. The picture of us in the locker room opening up shoes.
Oh, my gosh.
Your face is literally insane. It was, but it just is, like, so true to you, and, like, you have so much joy and just, like, the presence you bring, and you got this big blonde curly hair, and, like, you're just, I don't know, you're just so fun. So, yeah, just keep it up. You're doing great. And
Thank you.
It's, like, through your heart. Like, seriously, like, the Lord is speaking through you, and, like, that's shown on the court. So, it's been really cool to, like.
Thanks.
Yeah. I love you, bro. This has been so fun.
Dude, I love you more. Kidding.
So, in the weight room.
Oh, jeez.
This kind of started over the summer.
Oh, my gosh.
It's been passed down so kindly. So I think, honestly, Nicole's team started this. They were having, like, a rough day in the weight room. And they were like, guys, all right, look, like, we're going to lighten up the mood. Like, let's make something fun. And they all gave each other guy nicknames that kind of went along with their name. So do you want to tell everybody what your name is?
Okay. So this is going to be quite the story. So my name is obviously Allie, right? Mm-hmm. Pretty cool name. Figured we could just
your Alexandra.
Okay. See, a little unnecessary right there because I don't like to be called that. Not that the name is bad, because a lot of people love that, but it's just not me, you know?
Yeah,
like,
no,
I'm
it's
Allie,
okay.
and I like Allie. Anyways. So we had to come up with guy names. So I'm like, okay, shoot, let's try to find something that's like close to Allie, so it's like kind of flows, you know? But then I was like, okay, there's nothing close to Allie except for Alan, and I'm not gonna rock with that. So I was like, okay, let's do Antonio. So I was like, all right, we're going with Antonio. So we go with Antonio, and I'm like, okay, this is like live. Like, everybody's gonna like this name. So everybody's calling me Antonio. Well, Caitlin's like, you know what, let's shorten it. Let's call you Toe. And I'm like, what?
Well, it got shortened to Tony.
Oh, Tony.
Because,
bad.
you know.
Tony came along first. Sorry. I guess you know the story better than me. But Tony came along first, apparently. And I started getting called Tony. And I was like, guys, what? Like, A? It has to start with the A because that's
Yeah.
my name. Like, Tony? Like, where are we getting that from? And then I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm Tony now. And then Caitlin was like, you know what? Let's call you Toe. And I was like, Toe, like your
big toe?
like your dog, like your toe, like what? And she was like, yeah, Toe. And I was like, okay, cool.
You
So,
are
like,
the biggest toe.
So yeah, no, don't worry, I'm getting there. So I'm like going back to like, I think it was like step close. We were doing like step close one day in the spring.
Okay.
And she was like, get it, big toe. And I was like, I hate that, but that's 100% gonna stick. And it is literally stuck since. Everybody's like, big toe, big toe. All the campers come to the volleyball camps. They're like, they look down at my feet. I'm like, that's not why they call me big toe. That's not why.
I mean, what size shoe do you wear?
I don't, like a 12. It's not that big. It's like regular, like that's like normal, I feel like, you know what I mean?
I wear an 8.5. Bro.
I'm 6'4". Like,
know.
what? Of course I wear like a 12. What, I wear like a 5?
No, we love calling you big toe. And it really has stuck. And like, I don't know, because you're just out there doing your thing. You're the biggest block ever. And like,
Oh my
big
gosh.
toe, you're huge. No, I
cannot
love
with
it.
y'all.
It's stuck. And it's so much fun. And it like really does lighten up the mood for us in the
Yeah.
weight room. And, you know, sometimes like it does kind of get like monotonous and like you're going through like a routine and you're like, what was that a big word?
Well, it's just the funny part is like, okay, I thought y'all would call me that. I was like, all right, cool. Then Coach Mac's like, big toe. I'm like, no, yep,
No,
we're not doing
not
that.
Coach Mac with the big
Coach
toe.
Mac, I am Allie. Do not call me Big Toe. And then freaking Michael Wanger, who's our assistant, or not assistant, he's our
strength coach.
Strength
Yeah,
coach.
yeah.
We call him like Meatball now, and he's like, oh yeah, Big Toe. I'm like, yeah, see, me calling you Meatball is one thing, but you calling me Big Toe is a whole nother thing. Like, that's not allowed.
We just speak in code here at Baylor Volleyball.
Yeah.
We have Shark Drill, we
Yeah.
have Step Close, we have
Star Wars.
Star Wars, all of our drills. So it just makes sense that we just have
Yeah, everybody's
weird
like, what?
nicknames.
Like, yeah, welcome
but-
to Baylor Volleyball.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Allie, dude, this has just been so much fun. You're hilarious, and so I'm glad that people get to know you off the court a little bit. And so everyone that comes on, I ask them this question. If you were to write a letter to sports, what would you say and why?
I'd probably say, dear sports, thank you for the people you've brought me. I would say those are relationships I'll probably keep for the rest of my life. So I'm really thankful for those people. And then I would say, thank you for like all the situations that I never understood. Everything that was hard and all the setbacks, all of the like times I got knocked down. I'm just like so grateful for those opportunities because I feel like it just taught me how to get back up and like push myself harder, and it just helped me become the person I am today. And I think like those situations are still happening. So just like realizing that those blessings are like, even though there's struggle, like there's beauty in the struggle. So realizing those blessings. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on today. It was so much fun.
Of course.
Love you, big girl.
Love you more.
Thank you for watching Dear Sports with me, Faith Lynch. Make sure you go follow, like, subscribe on our YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Make sure you stay updated on everything Dear Sports. Thank you for watching today. Until next time, this is Faith Lynch.